Hello students, now we will see the sample program 9. In sample program 9, a maths teacher is there and she has an assignment. What she is doing is she is going to find the area of a scalene triangle and she is getting the length of the sides as input. Okay, and she is going to calculate the area. Then further she is going to ask the 40 students to calculate the area and enter the area. Okay, that is enter the area into your system, and she is going to compare her area and the area what she calculated and the area what students are giving as input. If both the areas are same, then she is going to count the number of students who have the same, that is correct answer for calculating the scalene triangle's area. Okay, and she is going to print how many students have got the correct answer among the 40 students. Okay, so now we will see how to do it. So class name is triangle, then the main function scanner, they have used the scanner class to get the input, and double, these are for your calculating your area, yes, s1, s2 and s3 area. This is for your calculating area formula, this one is. Then c is equal to 0. This is like a counter variable, how many students we are going to calculate, no? So like this is like a counter variable, and this is I for your loop. Then this is your array declaration to accept 40 students, that is the area they are going to enter, no? So their input to accept 40 students input, and then you are asking the enter the sides of the triangle. So you are going to get it as input, and see the sides are being stored in s1, s2 and s3. So these are the variables going to be used in your formula. I think you all know the formula of scalene triangle, so you will be familiar for what this is. Then just enter the answers of 40 students. Okay, so they are getting it into the loop for I is equal to 0, 0 to less than 40. So answer will be as the students enter the answer, everything will be saved in the answer of I. The first student's answer will be saved in the answer of 0, answer of 1, answer of 2, like that answers will be saved. Then the teacher is going to check to calculate the area. First thing, she is checking whether s1 plus s2 is greater than s3, that is the addition of other two sides should be greater than the third side, right? So they are checking that first. After checking that, if everything is correct, then they are entering inside. Then this is your formula, s is equal to find the value of s. Okay, so s is equal to s1 plus s2 plus s3 by 2. This is your formula to find the value of s. Then area is equal to square root of s into s minus s1, s minus s2, s minus s2. This is your area formula, and to find the square root we use the mathematical this mathematical function math dot square root and this formula. So once this is calculated, you will be getting one answer, right? For that answer the square root will be found, and that will be saved in the area, so which is your scalene triangle's area. Now after finding the area, the teacher is going to compare each one's answer. Here you have answered, you have entered the answers, right? The 40 students answer, she is going to compare it there. If answer of I is equal to area, then c plus plus. C plus plus means if the student's area is correct, she is going to increment this c. Initially it is 0. If c plus plus means it will be becoming 1. So one student has answered the correct answer for that. See, this is your formula. I said no, for square root there we have used the math dot square root, and 40 students are there, so I is equal to 0 and I less than 40. So for example, see here in answer of 0 array, the first student's answer, suppose 54 means it will be saved in the answer of 0. 64 will be saved in the answer of 1. Then third student's answer 54 is saved in answer of 2. Like that till 39 will be saved, because 0 to 39 is 40 numbers will be coming, because the array starts from the 0. Okay, so if suppose the area what we calculated is equal to 54, for example I am saying this, okay, after getting the sides everything we are calculating the area, right? We will consider that area to be 54 suppose. Okay, then what we are going to do is we have accepted all the inputs from the students and it is being in this array. Now from this array we are going to compare it with the area. Answer of I, that is for I is equal to 0 for first iteration, answer of 0 is what? 54. 54 is equal to and this area is also 54, so 54 is equal to 54, so they both are equal, so it will enter here at C++. C will be incremented, so C's value will be 1 now. So for the next iteration, answer of 1, 64 is equal to 54, no, so C++ won't be executed, again it will be going and checking. So answer of 2 is also entered 54, so 54 is equal to 54, so now C++ will be incremented. Already one student, the first student said it right, and the second and the third student has also said it right, so it will be C++ means C will be equal to 2 now. Okay, because this person didn't say, so among 3, 2 persons have said the correct answer, so your C++ will be 2 now. Okay, so similarly till the 40 students answer, that is till answer of 39, it will be checking, and once the answers are correct the C++ will be keep on incremented. At last you will be getting what is the number of students who have said the correct answer. See here, after this loop we are printing the system.out.println, number of students given the correct answer is plus C. So how many students are entered the correct answer, the C++ will be having the count, and if you display that you will be getting the number of students who have said the correct answer. If none of the students have said the correct answer means triangle formation is not possible. Okay, none of the student, or if this is not possible, see here, if first we are checking this, no, if this is not possible, if any one side is also less than the S3, that is the other side, addition of two sides is one of the thing is also less than the other side, means you cannot enter into this area calculation. If you cannot calculate the area means you cannot compare the areas also. Okay, so the triangle formation is not possible will be displayed for you if the sides of the triangle is not correct. Okay, then we will go to the program 10. Program 10 is to accept 20 integers in a single dimensional array. Then we are going to use the menu driven approach here. Okay, among this 20 integers we are going to find two things, that is a perfect number and a bus number. A perfect number means each number has its own factors, right? The sum of the factors should be equal to its own number. If suppose 7 means its factor should be that is addition of factors should be 7. Okay, like that. If it is not means it is not a perfect number. Then bus numbers means it should be either divisible by 7 or it should have the 7 as its last digit, that is in the ones place it should have 7. Okay, so this is the condition. So these two we are going to check and we are going to ask which we needed, that is in the menu driven program we are going to do it. So first thing is they have used the scanner class. These all are the common declaration, class name, the public void main, and the class declaration for scanner to get the input, and int, this is your array. In this array only you are going to store the 20 numbers. Then n, s, I and j. I and j will be for the loop, and s is to calculate the sum. See here, the sum of factors we need to calculate, right? For that we have s, and n will be your number. Okay. Okay, so system.out.println, first enter the integer number. So you are going to enter the integer number and it is going to be saved in the array A. Okay, all the 20 integers are going to be saved in the array A. Then the menu is going to be displayed here. After getting the 20 numbers, the menu has been displayed here. Menu items, what is that? To display all the perfect numbers and to display all the buff numbers, which one they want. Okay, here a mistake is there, you can correct it. This should be 2. Okay, if this is 2 only, they can enter 1 or 2. Then enter your choice. Then you are going to enter either 1 or 2. Then this n will be the specified number. Okay, that will be saved here. User is going to enter a choice, either 1 or 2. That will be entered. That will be stored in this variable n, and this is given in your switch. Menu driven program means we are going to use switch only. In the first chapter itself we have studied this. So always menu driven program means we are going to use only the switch case. So in switch, first we have to give the optional number. According to this only the case will be selected. So switch n, and in first case what we are going to do, if the option 1 means display all the perfect numbers. So for here what we are going to do is, for I is equal to 0, I less than 20, because 20 integers are there, less than 20, then yes we have declared. Actually we should have declared the yes here itself, but we are declaring s is equal to 0 here. Okay, to avoid the garbage value, thus you know. Then for j is equal to 1, j less than a of I, j plus plus. This loop is to find the factors, which numbers are divisible by the number. Then only we can find the factors of the number. These are the integers. See here, a of I will be having the integer. Wait. See here, for example, I have taken these numbers 8, 10, 14, 16 and 20 are there. Okay, so for the first iteration of I is equal to 0. First iteration, a of 0 is equal to 8. So in the for loop, that is j loop, j is equal to 1 and j is less than a of I. Yes, 1 is less than I. For the first iteration, I is equal to 0. So a of 0. So a of 0 means what? 8. Okay, the first number I have taken here is 8. So j is less than 8. 1 is less than 8. So it is going to enter into the loop. Then j is equal to 1. So we are checking 1 is less than 8. Then 8 is divisible by 1 or not. 8 mod 1 is equal to 0. We are checking. Because if this is divisible by 1 means this is actually mod. Okay, by mistake I have written it as divide. This is mod. Okay. So 8 by 1. Sorry, this is not mod, this is divisible only. So 8 is divided by 1 and it should be 0. Okay, if it is 0 means it is divisible. Okay, so remainder should be 0. If it is 0 means then you will be getting this as a factor of 8. So 1 is a factor of 8. So already yes we have declared it as 0. So 0 plus j value is 1. This is the factor of 1 is the factor of 8. So 1 will be added. So 0 plus 1 is equal to 1 and s is equal to 1. Okay, then j is equal to 2 for the second iteration of j. J is equal to 2 and 2 is also less than 8 and 8 by 2 is equal to 0. Obviously the remainder, because 8 is divisible by 2. So you will be having 0 as the remainder. So again you will be coming s is equal to, already the s value is what? 1. So 1 plus 2. Now j value is 2. So 1 plus 2 is equal to 3 and here s is equal to 3. This is your addition of your factors. So j is equal to 3. J is not divisible by 8. Okay, so 8 cannot be divided by 3, so remainder won't be 0, so this won't enter. Then it will again come to the next iteration, j is equal to 4. J is less than 8 and 8 is divisible by 4, so you will be getting the 0 value and again this factor 4 will be added. See, as of now s is equal to 3, so s value 3 will be substituted and j is equal to 4. So 3 plus 4 is equal to 7. So s is equal to 7. Then 5, 6, 7, nothing is divisible. Then 8 comes, but 8 is not less than 8. So 8 also won't be not 8 will not be taken. Okay, 8 will not be added to here. So s is equal to 7. Now after this, what we are going to check is the addition of factors should be equal to the number which we have entered, right? So we are going to check if the addition of s is what? Addition of factors is equal to a of I. A of I is what? I value is 0. I has not been incremented. For the first iteration of I, with the first thing only we are still there. Okay, so a of I is 8. So 7 is equal to 8? No. So it is not a perfect number. So it will be skipped and it will be going to the other number. Now iteration I is equal to 1 will be coming. So a of I is equal to 10. The same process, finding the factors process, will be repeated and it will again check if it is equal. If it is equal means it will be coming under the perfect number, otherwise the number won't be printed. Okay, so this is your case 1 to find the perfect numbers. Okay, so if whatever is the number, if it is equal means that numbers will be printed, otherwise it won't be printing any numbers, it will just come out of the loop. Then if the option is 2 means we are going to find the what? Bus numbers. Okay, option 2 first we are going to find the bus numbers. Again we are getting the integers here. Here the number should be either divisible by 7 or the last number, that is the number in the ones place, should be in the 7, should be having your number 7. Okay, so any of the condition is true means we are going to take it as a bus number. That's why we have given or here, or operator. Okay, any one is true also, we are going to take that number as a bus number. Okay, with the same example I explained you here. For example, if I is equal to 0, so a of I is what? 8 here. Okay, if 8 mod 7 is equal to 0, no, it is not divisible, and 8 is surely not having 7 also. So it is not a bus number. See here, for the third iteration it is taking 14. Okay, for third iteration is coming, so now I will be 2. So a of 2 mod 7 is equal to 0. That is 14 mod 7 is surely equal to 0 because 14 is divisible by 7. So it will enter into the loop and system.out.println, that number will be displayed as your bus number. Okay, so whatever number is divisible by 7 or the number that is having 7 as the last digit, for example 17 mod 10 means the remainder will be 7. So it is having 7 in the ones place, right? So it is a bus number, it will be displayed as a bus number. So this is your menu driven program, and other than 1 or 2 option is given means it will be displaying invalid choice. Only 2 you can be using, 1 or 2. Then the third 11th program is to write a program to accept roll numbers and marks secured in computer application by 40 students. Okay, in a single dimensional array we are going to accept all the 40 students roll numbers as well as their computer application marks. Okay, and we are going to sort the marks in the descending order. Okay, just see it, we are going to sort it in the descending order, and finally display the roll number and marks of each student in the sorted, in which descending order, sorted order. Okay, so now we will see the program here. So in class number they have given class name and void main function, then the scanner class. This is your declaration. I and j is for the loop and t is for the temporary variable, because while sorting will be swapping, right? For that this is your temporary variable, and roll array of 40 students, because we are going to get the roll number and marks of 40 students. So roll 40 and marks 40 array has been created. Then enter the roll number and marks. So 40 students roll number and marks will be taken as the input and stored in this both arrays. Okay, so 40 means what? It is less than, it is 0 to 39. That's why they have given here the 0 to 39, and here they have taken the bubble sort algorithm to sort it in the descending order. Okay, they have taken the bubble sort algorithm to sort it in the descending order, and I have already explained about bubble sort in the bubble sort program itself, and we need three, that is n minus 1 iterations. Okay, if 0 to 39 is there numbers, that is 40 numbers, so we need 39 iterations. So 39 means 0 to 38. That's why they have given I is less than 39. So you will be getting 30n minus 1 iteration. So 38 iterations you need to make it in the descending order. Okay, then for finding each number we need 39 minus I. Okay, this I have already explained in your bubble sort. If you want it again, you can go and check it there. Okay, for I, j is equal to 0, j less than 39 minus 1, j plus plus. Okay, anyway, I'll say this again also. Listen, j less than 39 minus I means for the first iteration you will be having I as 0. So 39 minus 0 means again you will be getting 39. As of for the first iteration, you are going to compare the number with all the numbers. Okay, all the integers present in your array you are going to compare. So we need all the numbers. Okay, so 38 is there means all the 38 numbers except the first number you are going to take all other numbers, so it is going to be compared with the other numbers. So 38 numbers you are going to compare, and you are going to push since this is a descending order, you are going to push the lowest one to the right side. Okay, so for that reason only you are having 39 minus I. Once the lowest is pushed to the right, you doesn't need to check that is compare with that number in the next iteration. So in the next iteration you doesn't need 38. If 37 is enough, it will be keep on reducing like that. As the right side column is being pushed with the lowest numbers, you doesn't need to compare the other numbers with that lowest numbers, so that iteration will be keep on reducing for you. That's the reason we have given 39 minus 1. It will be reducing in the like 1 2 3 like that, it will be reducing. Okay, that's the reason we have given I is going to be incremental 1 2 3 4 5, and you are going to reduce so many numbers here also. So if marks of j is less than marks of j plus 1. Okay, wait, I'll show it with the example here. So 0 to 39 is going to be in your array. For the first iteration of 0, j is equal to 0, j is less than 39 minus I. This is used in your bubble sort. If marks of j is less than marks of j plus 1, we are going to swap the roll number as well as the marks, because without roll number if you change it, it will be confused. Okay, surely the marks will be wrong. So roll number as well as the marks need to be swapped. So for example, for 5 numbers I have taken 45, 39, 86, 79 and 50 is the marks of 5 students. Okay, and for the first iteration of I, that is I is equal to 0, and next loop j is equal to 0. So this is marks of j is less than marks of j plus 1. So marks of j means what? Marks of 0 plus marks of 1. Marks of 0 is 45. 45 is less than 39? No. So it is going to the next iteration. J is equal to 1. So if now marks of j will be 1 and marks of j plus 1 will be 2. So what is marks of j? That is 1, 39, and marks of 2 is 86. So 39 is less than 86. Yes. So the lowest number need to be pushed to the right side. So we are going to swap it. Okay, to swap it, first thing what we will be doing is, first we are swapping the roll numbers. Okay, so T is equal to roll of j, and roll of j is changed to roll of j plus 1, because this is your highest number. So highest number, roll number will be changed here. Then the number, that is the before number saved in the temporary variable, will be pushed to the roll of j plus 1. Similarly, the marks, the same process will be done in the marks, and this will also be swapped. Okay, so after swapping, now see, this was your first order, and after swapping you will be getting 45, 86 and 39. So this after swapping, again it will be going to the j loop, and j is equal to 2 now. For the third iteration, marks of 2 is less than marks of 3. What is, see here, marks of 2 is what? 0, 1 and 2. So 39. 39 is going to be compared with marks of 3, 79. It is less than 79. Again swapping is going to be done, and in the third place 36 is going to be come here, and here 79 will be coming. Okay, so similarly for the next iteration, j is equal to 4, and just a minute. Okay, see here, again swapping will be done, and now you will be having it as 45, 86, 79, then 39 and 50 will be there. So I of, see here it will be checking with the 79 and it will be moved, and in the last iteration j of 4, what will happen is 39 will be compared with 50, and this is already less than the 50, so this will also be swapped, and you will be getting at last 86, 79, 50 and 39. See, the lowest number has been pushed to your right side because this is in the descending order. Actually, to make it in the ascending order, we will be taking the higher number to the end, but since this is in the descending order, the lower number goes to the end. Okay, so again this same process for the now iteration of second iteration, I is will be 1, and for that again this process will be going. So 45 will be compared with 86, and 86 will be pushed on here, and 45 will be in the next position, and again it will be comparing with the 79, and 79 will be again pushed on here, so we will be having 86, 79 then again 50. So 50 is also greater, so 50 will be coming here, and 45 will be going to the second right position, and at last 39. This we doesn't need to check because already it is the lowest number we found and we have put it in the right corner. So this is the reason you are reducing one iteration in each iteration of j. Okay, in each iteration of I we are minusing it, right? 39 minus I we are giving, no, that is the reason, because always the right end we doesn't need to check. So for the first iteration we are minusing 1, for the second iteration these two numbers need not be checked, so we are minusing 2 iterations like that. Okay, I hope you understood this. Then after arranging it in the descending order, you will be printing it. System.out.println, the roll number and the marks will be printed. Okay.